Ahead on Q2, coming to a screeching halt.
I just keep telling people, don't assume cars are stopping.
From blowing through stop signs to flying through crosswalks, new Billings intersections causing chaos for some drivers. Plus, collecting comics.
They've become very popular. If you go to bookstores nowadays, they have entire sections for graphic novels and manga.
The new library is now open at MSU Billings. We'll take you inside. And sweet successes.
Yeah.
We head to Big Sandy, where one of the state's greatest treasures almost never came to life. We'll explain next on the MTN 430 News. Well, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Russ Riesinger. Billings drivers are getting a new lesson in traffic flow as downtown streets have taken a turn with freshly installed stop signs. But that has led to some confusion with many cars rolling through the intersections right in front of our Q2 studios. Andrea Lutz shows us how drivers are adjusting to make sure this street conversion project works as planned.
There's plenty of change.
Warning lights are flashing
In the lanes for Billings drivers.
This is where my concern is.
Here in front of the downtown YMCA,
I just keep telling people, don't assume cars are stopping.
that's where a brand new crosswalk is catching attention. And Kim Kaiser is walking us through why.
Yeah, I think anytime you're looking at a mid-block crosswalk where you don't have a hard stop at a light, it's concerning. And oftentimes cars either choose not to see the flashing lights or don't really care to stop.
The crosswalk is part of a bigger effort, the city converting several one-way streets back to two-way traffic. But with the new flow comes new confusion. Watch closely as cars blow through this stop sign at 3rd and 32nd, right outside our Q2 studios. In 50 minutes, our cameras caught 11 cars that never even seemed to tap their brakes.
We're still asking for a little patience there.
The city admits it's not finished yet.
There's still a lot of improvements to be done to those two intersections. They're going to start to make it feel a little more close-knit, and people are going to probably be more aware.
That includes brighter striping and flags on stop signs meant to catch your eye. But even after those fixes, we recorded another dozen drivers rolling right through in less than an hour.
What are your thoughts when you see that?
I think more awareness and visibility.
For Fogelsong, it's a reminder.
There's a whole lot of things that just aren't done yet.
Warning lights are flashing
All these near misses mean one thing. Drivers need to pay attention.
Always make sure cars are stopping. All the cars, there could be 3 potential cars here at any time that need to stop. So I really just want to encourage our members and our communities, don't assume that a car is going to stop in a crosswalk.
Because even with flashing lights and bright paint,
Sometimes we see multiple cars. I've seen and heard cars just screeching to try to stop at this crosswalk.
a new look for Billings streets and a new lesson for drivers. See the signs and slow down. In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
At least a moderate amount of smoke across the state during the day today. Green shaded areas, not really any impacts. The yellow shaded regions, including Billings and much of the eastern plains, we're seeing at least some smoke. So especially if you're sensitive, you're probably feeling it today, and maybe some scratchy eyes and scratchy throat. Temperatures around the region have been held up fairly well throughout the afternoon, but you see a few showers and thunderstorms trying to develop and little flickers of lightning here or there. A few showers, especially to the north of Billings, will continue to develop some rain through the evening hours, but the amount of moisture in the atmosphere is starting to increase, so we're going to see more frequent showers and thunderstorms and a decrease in temperatures as we get closer to the weekend. The forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Well, if you're a fan of popular graphic novels, a new space is opened at MSU Billings Library. The goal to serve a growing interest in comic culture. The manga and graphic novel collection was unveiled to the school this morning, coming to life with the help of funding from their jacket giving day and $2,000 from a school foundation. Librarians Nicole Bernard and Eileen Wright decided to install the edition after increasing requests from students. National data shows manga and graphic novels are quickly surging in popularity, with a current market worth $1.1 billion.
They've become very popular. If you go to bookstores nowadays, they have entire sections for graphic novels and manga.
It's the whole idea is that I think over time, yes, People are now reading ebooks, and yes, it's gone in that direction, but still, there's still that desire to just hold a physical book and sit down and just read.
The new space holds more than 200 titles and is expected to continue to grow. President Donald Trump delivered remarks on religious freedom in public schools today. Shortly after, in an effort to crack down on crime, the Department of Homeland Security announced a new operation in Chicago and Illinois targeting undocumented immigrants who have criminal histories. Tarian Small has more on those stories and a few wins for the administration at the Supreme Court level.
We have to bring back religion in America.
Appearing at the Museum of the Bible Monday, President Trump announced the Department of Education will soon issue new guidance protecting the right to prayer in public schools.
As president, I will always defend our nation's glorious heritage, and we will protect the Judeo-Christian principles of our founding, and we will protect them with vigor.
During the speech, the president also addressed wanting to send National Guard troops to Chicago. After posting on social media this weekend, the city is about to find out why it's called the Department of War.
We'd love to go into Chicago and straighten it out.
Shortly after his remarks, the Department of Homeland Security announced federal immigration agents are launching an operation in Chicago and Illinois targeting immigrants living in the U.S. illegally who also have criminal records. Dubbed Operation Midway Blitz, it comes the same day the administration's deportation efforts in the Los Angeles area received a boost from the Supreme Court. The High Court temporarily lifted restrictions on immigration-related stops in Southern California, allowing agents to stop people without reasonable suspicion that they are in the U.S. illegally, and instead rely on factors like race and if they're speaking Spanish. California officials slammed the decision.
I think the rationale articulated by Justice Kavanaugh is dangerous and wrong.
The court's 3 liberal justices dissented. Torian Small, CBS News, the White House.
Russia continues to intensify its attacks on Ukraine, launching the largest air assault in nearly 4 years of war. Russia deployed a swarm of more than 800 drones this weekend, according to Ukraine's Air Force. The assault caused serious damage in Ukraine's capital, hitting a key government building, killing at least 4 people, including a 2-month-old baby. It comes just 3 weeks after the historic face-to-face meeting between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska.
His willingness to meet with President Trump on Alaska was actually because of the fact that he was really scared about sanctions.
Well, last night, President Trump said he was ready to hit Russia with a second phase of sanctions. He also indicated he expects to speak with Putin in the next few days. 2 Biden initiatives intended to help workers and consumers are being reversed by the Trump administration. That includes rolling back a proposal to have airlines compensate passengers for carrier-caused disruptions. The administration is also no longer having the Federal Trade Commission move forward with efforts to ban non-compete agreements. Ava Joy Burnett looks at what this means for businesses and the average person.
Previous attempts by the Biden administration to protect air travelers and workers are now being reversed by the Trump administration.
The current administration has rolled back worker rights, rolled back consumer rights in order to give companies more power.
When it comes to air travel, a Department of Transportation rule that would have required airlines to pay customers for delays or cancellations is being scrapped. Danny Karen, an attorney who wrote a book about consumer protections, says this is like a get-out-of-jail-free card.
The rule being rolled back really would have given compensation to flyers for delayed and canceled flights, for international and domestic flights. Now they can't get it. So what's your remedy? What's your remedy if you're really screwed over?
Another rule no longer being pursued, a ban on non-compete agreements in the workplace. That would have made it easier for employees to leave one job and go to the next, even if they're under contract. The ban finalized last year by the Federal Trade Commission is now being abandoned by the same agency that created it. Economist Aaron Sojourner says this change will most likely affect hourly workers.
The typical worker with a non-compete is paid by the hour, and they make a median of about $14 an hour. So imagining that this is all executives and high-level scientists is completely wrong.
Ava Joy Burnett, Scripps News Group, Washington.
Well, one of the sweetest success stories in Montana agriculture was almost never written. Years ago, a proposed dam nearly covered the land that now produces some of the most sought-after fruit in the Treasure State. Fortunately for Montana melon lovers, that didn't happen. Tonight's Montana Ag Report, MTN's Tim McGonigal introduces us to the couple behind the cantaloupe.
Take a walk through. There's one right there.
Ron and Gay Pearson might not be household names, but just about everyone knows who they are.
We'll be walking, like, say, in a store in Great Falls, and somebody will go, "There's the melon man," or "the melon lady."
For more than 30 years, Pearson's Big Sandy cantaloupes have been a hit at grocery stores and farmers markets across Montana.
We took them to Winterford and Big Sandy Grocery first, and they just absolutely loved the cantaloupe. They couldn't get enough of it.
But the work to grow the melons was painstaking.
We hand planted them. We hand rolled the mulch. Everything was done by hand. The watering was done by hand, all of it.
Things got a little easier when they took advantage of a ready-made labor force.
Our two sons were pretty big guys, and then our third son came along and our daughter, and they all helped with it.
The only thing sweeter than the fruit might be the chance to work with family.
There's 4 generations of us now that are involved in the cantaloupe, and there's nothing better than that.
Montana might not be considered a melon-growing mecca, but the Pearsons have found their piece of produce paradise thanks to fertile soil combined with excellent conditions.
It's hot down here. The evenings, the nights don't really get cold. They stay warm, so the melons just keep growing.
The Pearsons also raise cattle and quarter horses, and they grow grain. But from the end of May until the first hard frost, it's all about the cantaloupe, which they handpick starting in mid-August.
But usually in a pickup, there can be, I don't know, 800 to 1,600 pounds. On the most given markets that we're leaving on Friday night, we have 3 pickup loads.
From curious deer to pesky grasshoppers to the unpredictability of Mother Nature, the cantaloupe business has its challenges. But for the Pearsons, getting to work with family is something they not only cherish, it's a tradition they'd like to continue.
You know, I'm hoping that one of our kids or grandkids will really get involved in this and just keep it going. I hope it does. You know, I'm 70, so it's not going to last forever for me.
From working with family to being known by just about everybody, the Pearsons are enjoying the fruits of their labor.
It's kind of cool, yeah.
Near Big Sandy, Tim McGonigal, MTN News.